Hello, it's Crystal in Milan, your love coach with dating advice. And since we're in quarantine, well, actually, I'm in quarantine. I'm living in Milan. It's been about 3 weeks now, and I've just heard it's going to be to the 13th. So Easter and quarantine. But, most of the world is in quarantine. So this is the best time to meet someone in internet. We're all home. And of course, a single, oops, it's my crazy cat. We're single and, we're not going out anymore. I mean, I'm single. I was used to, going out with Roberto or Giorgio for dinner, my girlfriend for a cocktail, the movies. Now we're home. So we're feeling that need, for that comfort to talk to someone. So we really want a companion even more in this time. In fact, they have said, well, actually I saw it on the program, The Real, that internet dating has gone up 26%. 26%, that's a lot. And let's remember that internet dating is not for losers. Actually, it's more for winners, because I know that you can meet more rich and successful people in internet than you can at a bar or a club or at an event. And how about the name Ben Affleck? Yes, rumor has it that Ben Affleck, yes, that gorgeous American movie star, registered with a single app. So that shows you it's not just for losers. And one would say, well, why would he do that? I mean, he has lots of friends. He's famous. Because it's an easy way to meet people. You can look on their profile. You can look at the description. You exchange some messages. You get an idea how that person is, who that person is. So that's why, as I said, your profile is your business card. So we already said headshot, beautiful full length photo, looking nice, smiling, description, positive, not a negative word. Don't talk about your ex. Positive description that someone reads and says, I want to meet that person. That person seems interesting. And not read your description, say, oh, no, that person's got problems. I already got my own problems. I don't need his or hers. So that's your business card, your profile. Now let's talk about messages. Messages are very important also to know someone in internet. So let's talk about the most important questions. The question I always ask is, how long have you been single? How long have you been single? So that way, if they are married or engaged, they're going to be hard to respond to that question because they have to admit, if they're honest, that they're not single. And some men have said, actually, I'm not single. Or they've said, I'm single 6 months, recently separated or divorced. Red light. Okay, they're single, but they're not really single because they were married 6 months, 8 months ago. They were married. They weren't dating. They weren't out here. They were married. So they're just getting their feet wet. But don't let them get their feet wet with you. Next. Continue writing to someone who is really single, who's single for at least a year, who's looking for a companion, not someone who's out there kind of lost, recently single. So first question, a very good question. How long have you been single? Then children. Is children a problem for you? I prefer a man who has older children. So you want to know, do they have children? And how old are the children? Are they 5 or 6? Are they 18 or 40? If they're young, unless you also have children, children can, be a problem. If you're dating a man and he has children, it's hard to, make a relationship because maybe he has to spend time with the children, or maybe he has, equal custody, 3 days with him, 3 days with the ex-wife. But if you have children, okay, it's a different ball game. I'm talking about me, single women and men who are, we don't have children. If you have children, it may work because maybe together you can spend time together with your children. So how long have you been single? Do you have children? And what's your job? What do you do? First of all, do you have a job? Okay. If you're dating someone and you're in love and they lose their job, of course, I don't say leave him or her. You stay with that person. But why, meet someone, start, beginning a relationship with someone who doesn't have a job, You got a job, so they should have a job. So let's see what he does or she does, What do they do? So these are the basic questions, to ask someone while you're in internet. And then, as I said, women, let the men court you. Do not, write first. Men want to court you. Isn't that right, men? They want to chase you. They want to make the first move. So let them do it. You can let a man know that you like him, of course. You click on the photo, you click that I like you button, the little heart button, and it arrives, to him that, you looked at his profile and that you like him. And men, so when you see that woman has clicked on your photo, has clicked that little button, I like you, write her. Write her. Don't expect that she's going to write you, don't wait for her message. No, you're the man. She's waiting for you to write her. She's waiting to be courted, even in internet. So write her. And then, take time in internet. A lot of people go into the internet and they go in for 10 minutes and then they leave. My friends are like, oh, I haven't met anyone in internet. I'm like, well, how long, do you stay in internet? How many times? Oh, I go once every 2 or 3 days. I go in for 10 minutes. No, you have to go in and you have to stay there at least, a half an hour, Look at least 20 photos every time you go in. Go online so people can see that you're active, that you really, are looking for someone. So click on at least 20 photos. Go online. Click at least 5 or 6 photos with that, I like you button. Be active. And then the people in internet will see that you're active. Be seen. There's millions of people in an internet dating. The average website, the average website is 80% men and 20% women. So women, we got a greater chance in internet. We have less competition. But it also means is like the average internet site has millions of people. So it's hard to find you. So even that guy that you like, that you clicked the Mi Piace, I like button, it's going to be hard to find you if you're not there, if you're not present, Or maybe he says, oh, I'm not going to write her. She's not even online, or she never comes online. So be present, be present. I don't say go on every day, but one day yes, and one day no. 2 days yes, one day no. But be active in internet. Be active in your search. Be active with the shuffling, go on the shuffling. Some internet datings have the shuffles. You can look at a lot of different pictures, or, the slide. You can look at a lot of different pictures and you pick, I like, I don't like. Do these things. Be active in internet. You're in a party. Internet's like a party. You want to meet people. You're in there to meet people, So move around. Be aware the people who are in the internet. It's not a game. People think, oh, it's a game. I'm just here for a game. I'm just joking. No, it's not a game. These are real people, me and you, who are looking for, their soulmate. So, it's all by the way how you use it. If you use it in a superficial way, just look at some pictures, write a message, and then disappear, you're not going to meet anyone. You use it in a superficial way, you're going to meet superficial people. But if you use it in a profound, honest way, you're really looking around, you write a message, and you, as soon as that person responds to you, you don't wait 2 or 3 days, to go back to see if that person has responded. You check out, to see if you got messages, even without even going into the internet, into that single website. It arrives in your email that, you received a message. So respond to that message, at least within a day. I know I have, exchanged messages with men on internet. They wrote me, oh, sorry about this. They wrote me, they said they'd like to meet me. They like my profile. And I wrote them, oh, I'd like to meet you too. I like your profile also. And 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, no respond. They didn't respond to me. I'm not interested anymore. I mean, give me a break, We exchanged a couple of messages. I wrote you, respond. So it's very important to keep that relationship moving. And then I said, you don't want to move into internet. You're not in internet to date in internet. You're in internet to get as fast out of internet with that person you like as possible. So if you like someone, keep, exchanging those messages until you have a little feeling. And when you have some feeling, exchange telephone numbers and organize that first date. You shouldn't wait for more than 4 or 5 dates. Please do not exchange messages for weeks and weeks and months. And don't listen to excuses from people who say, oh, I'm not ready to meet you yet, or I'm really busy. We'll meet in a few weeks after a few more messages, or I'm out of town, or that person is Mr. or Mrs. Virtual. They're married, they're engaged, they're not the person who's on that profile. Something is wrong. Because if someone really wants to meet you, I mean, you registered with a single website. So if you really want to meet someone, you can't wait to meet that person that you share some feeling with. You can't wait to exchange numbers and to get out of that virtual internet, world. So be aware. After 4 messages, maximum 5, that person should organize, a meeting. You should, say, I would really like to meet you. We can meet. Women, we can say that. And men, you should say, I would really like to meet you. And then, as I said, men, don't ask for a woman's number. Give her your number, and then she'll contact you. So messages are important. Meeting is important. But just because you met someone doesn't mean you leave internet. No, you remain there. You remain in internet, but you leave the virtual world with that person that you met in internet. Hello, so messages are important. Questions are important. Like I said, how long have you been single? Very important. Too soon, they were recently separated or divorced. They're still, feeling the ways. They're not actually ready to have a relationship, even though they think they are. Or someone who says they've been single 6 or 7 or 10 years. That's too long to not have had a relationship. Okay, I'm not saying you should have had the love of your life, but a relationship, 3 months, 6 months, a relationship, no relationship in like 6, 7 years, that person probably isn't really looking for a relationship. So you exchange some messages. Now you exchange numbers. So the phone call. So the first real way out of the virtual world, out of the single website world, is a phone call. You hear that person, for the first time, their voice. So you can tell, they're nervous, they have a sense of humor, are they aggressive, are they asking you nice questions? You can tell a lot about the phone call, so listening to someone's voices. So it's very important. And as I said, don't make the date on that first phone call. The first phone call, just talk to each other, hear, the personality, and you can ask some questions about, their relationships in the past. And what they're looking for, maybe in a relationship. Then the second phone call, you talk again and you organize the date. So the last time I talked about my worst date, he seemed like a nice guy, but after like 10 minutes, he started crying about his, last relationship. But that was my fault because yes, I exchanged messages with him. He seemed interesting, but I only had one phone conversation with him. He called me up. Hi, Crystal. Yes, it's great to hear your voice. Let's, go out this Wednesday for drinks. And, I said, okay, yes. We didn't really have a conversation. So I found that you have to have a conversation, at least 2, before you organize a date. And doing that, I haven't had many conversations with men, and I never had the date. And I'm sure this happens also to men. I had a conversation with a woman, and they don't, want to see her. They don't want to meet her because phone calls, you can tell a lot about a person, and you can understand if, you really want to meet that person, confirm what you thought you may have known about that person while exchanging messages. But obviously, until you meet that person face to face, you don't know who that person is. You can exchange the most wonderful messages. You have a great phone conversation, but until you meet that person, you don't know exactly who they are. So that first meeting is important. And of course, obviously, public place. It could be any time. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock for an ice cream, 6 o'clock for a happy hour. I would suggest not too late. I would suggest not after 9 o'clock, not too late. So, you still have time, it's early. The date works out, great, If it doesn't, you get your car, you take public transportation, and you go home. So first date places, public places, not near your job, not near your work. Of course, you do not go to his or hers home, and you do not get in the car. So next time I'm going to tell you do's and don'ts for that first great date once you've left that virtual world. So if you want to write me, you want to contact me, write me at The Dating Rules. The Dating Rules yahoo.com. And you want to see my next episode, click that subscribe button, and I'll be right with you next time. Ciao for now.